Jeff Nippard just ruined his reputation forever by trying to attack Solomon, and it backfired incredibly bad for him. Jeff has been trying these past few months to get more and more popularity by any means possible. It started with him defending fake natties such as Hussein Farhat and Julian, to now publicly trying to shame Solomon Nelson for his video on Mike's PhD. And trust me when I says this, Solomon did not let that slide. In fact, we are going to see how in his most recent videos, Solomon goes over many flaws in Jeff's paid programs, his attempts at humiliating him, and at the end of this video we are going to cover a really intriguing new information about Jeff Nippard, which is also confirmed by Greg Doucette that everyone missed. So let's jump straight in. Remember a few weeks back when Jeff made that video about two of the most infamous fake natty influencers in the game? Everyone thought finally Jeff's gonna be the one to call them out. The science guy takes a stand, right? Except that's not what happened. Instead of exposing them, he basically said, yeah, they're natural. Just like that. And of course, people saw right through it. Because instead of holding them accountable, it looked like Jeff was just trying to ride their wave. That move didn't sit well with anyone. Overnight, the guy who used to be seen as one of the most reliable, evidence-based voices in fitness started looking like just another clout chaser. And now, he's back in the spotlight, but this time it's not for some awkward natty defense, it's for something way worse. Remember Solomon, the guy who completely dismantled Mike Israetel's PhD and basically won a 2-on-1 debate against Mike and Milo? Yeah, Jeff didn't like that, at all. So what did he do? He jumped into Mike's comment section and started throwing shade at Solomon, directly. He tried to make Solomon look bad in front of millions of people, but it backfired hard, because Solomon once again didn't miss. Instead of firing back with insults, he fired back with facts. He took a deep dive into every single one of Jeff's paid programs, and the results? Brutal. We're talking impossible exercises, unrealistic sets, junk volume all over the place. And the worst part? These programs aren't free. People actually paid for them. Because Jeff's been the science-based guy for years, the one people trust to give them legitimate research-backed programming. So they bought his plans, expecting something high quality, something that would actually help them make progress. But instead, what they got were programs full of design flaws and errors everywhere. Solomon started with the bench specialization program, and honestly, it was laughably bad. Here's what the workout called for. 4 sets of 6 reps at 85% of your 1 rep max, with only 3 to 5 minutes of rest between sets. Now, if you've ever actually opened literally any strength training calculator, you know that's insane. Because most research and experience agree that at 85% of you 1 rep max, you're good for maybe 5 to 6 reps total. But that's 1 set, 1 not 4. So Jeff's program is basically asking people to hit 4 back-to-back PRs with minimal rest and somehow not fall apart halfway through. Like, what are we training here, strength or human superpowers? And the weirdest part, Jeff's always preaching not to train to failure. He's the leave a few reps in the tank guy. He's literally said you'll get better results keeping a couple reps in reserve. But then, in this program, he wants you to go all out to failure for 4 heavy sets straight. That's not progressive overload. That's a funeral for your central nervous system. This isn't just a small mistake, it's a straight-up design flaw. This workout program doesn't just have issues, it's literally impossible by design. Whether Jeff meant for that to happen or not, that's what it is. And that's a big deal, especially coming from Jeff Nippard. Like, this isn't some random fitness influencer who just discovered Excel. Jeff's supposed to be one of the smart guys. Science-based, detail-oriented, the dude with the spreadsheets and studies. People trust him. They'll see his face on a thumbnail and go, oh, this must be legit. That's why he should be held to a higher standard. Because when someone like Jeff puts out something that's fundamentally broken, it's not just another bad workout plan. It's misinformation wrapped in credibility. And here's the kicker. When people don't get results from this program, they're not going to blame the program. Nope. They'll blame themselves. They'll think, maybe I'm just not working hard enough, or my genetics suck. Because Jeff's reputation makes people assume they're the problem, not the program. That's what makes this so frustrating. When you build your brand around being evidence-based, you don't get to make beginner-level design errors and then shrug it off. The bar's higher, and Jeff's smart enough to know that. So yeah, this isn't just a little oopsie, it's a big deal. Because when the guy people trust most to get it right puts out something that's wrong at the foundation, it makes everyone else in the industry look worse too. But then he moved on to the women's specialization program, and somehow that one was even worse. Now, Solomon's main point was that the program is packed with junk volume. Like, imagine you've still got room to add weight or reps, but every single week you're doing the exact same weights for the exact same reps. That's not progressive overload, that's just spinning your wheels. By definition, that's junk volume that doesn't really do anything, and funny enough, Jeff himself once said that doing stuff like this could have you stuck at the intermediate stage forever. So yeah, he kinda called his own program mid. Now, when Solomon first posted his critique, Jeff actually responded pretty well. He was polite, professional, thanked Solomon for the feedback, said he appreciated the constructive criticism, and even mentioned that he'd use it to improve his programs going forward. He left this long, thoughtful comment under Solomon's video explaining all that. It was the kind of response you'd expect from a level-headed, educated guy who genuinely cares about doing things right. Wholesome moment, right? Yeah. Not so fast, because a few months later, Jeff's thoughtful comment under Solomon's critique of his women's program suddenly disappeared. Gone. Vanished. People started asking questions, and the next day Jeff replied saying, "I definitely didn't delete it. He suggested maybe YouTube flagged it or something." Yeah, okay, because YouTube is out here specifically targeting Jeff's wholesome, polite comments now. Totally believable. Anyway, that was the end of it, at least for a while, until October 4th, 2025. That's when Jeff decided to jump into another controversy. This time Solomon's breakdown of Mike Israetel's PhD. And Jeff didn't just lurk in the comments, he came out swinging. He left 2 comments under Mike's post about the situation. The first one said, "Bro was out here adding semicolons to Mike's rough draft from 13 years ago thinking he did something." And of course Mike liked the comment. Now here's the thing, that semicolon jab, it completely misses the point. Solomon's critique wasn't about punctuation, it was about the content of the thesis, the bad data, the missing references, the impossible stats. The rough draft excuse has no proof behind it, and the "it's 13 years old" argument doesn't make any sense either. A bad thesis doesn't suddenly become good just because it's vintage. You don't get academic immunity after a decade, but Jeff didn't stop there. He doubled down with a second comment saying, "Solomon trying to play off his Reddit-trained parasocial anti-fan hit piece as a good faith attempt to help fix the way administrators archive their papers is pretty funny." And again, completely off base, because Solomon's video wasn't some Reddit drama hit piece. It was about how the entire academic system has been slipping, how a PhD full of typos, bad data, and formatting errors can make it through multiple rounds of review without anyone catching it. It wasn't just about Mike, it was about the decline in academic standards as a whole. PhDs are supposed to represent the highest level of scholarship, not a game of how many mistakes can we overlook. Through all of this, Jeff's behavior clearly changed. He went from calm and rational to reactive and emotional. Instead of thinking like the logical, science-based guy people respect, he started acting out of loyalty, trying to protect his friend. He helped spread the rough draft story, which, as we now know, was completely false.
We now know Solomon was looking at an accidentally uploaded incorrect rough draft.
I've lied. I've lied a lot.
I guess technically I submitted the wrong draft to the graduate school.
Lying is easy as hell. I can do it at the drop of a hat.
So not only did Jeff defend a lie, he made himself part of the cover-up. And in doing so, he chipped away at his own reputation as one of the most trusted voices in evidence-based fitness. Because here's the thing, if you're going to call yourself a scientist, you've got to act like one, especially when the facts get uncomfortable. Jeff didn't do that. He acted out of emotion instead of logic. And that bias showed a side of him the community had never really seen before. And now for the part you have all been waiting for, the intriguing piece of information about Jeff that was revealed. To explain this, you're going to need a bit of context. On Greg Doucette's video about the whole drama, he read a comment of Jeff saying, "It must be really annoying having something you did multiple years ago pop up again years later." And Greg's reaction on seeing this was thinking that he is projecting. He's basically saying this because he has done himself something in the past.
And so is it possible that Jeff is projecting? Why is he coming so hard to defend Mike on something Mike did in his past? And so is it possible that Jeff also has a dirty little secret that he doesn't want anyone to share?
And this was later confirmed in Solomon's video when he said,
"Did Jeff Nippard lie? And if Jeff Nippard lied about something so minor, then what else might he have lied about?"
So what do you think of this? What do you think is this mysterious piece of information that Jeff is hiding from us? Thank you for having watched until the end. If you have enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to my channel.